Hello world. On this session, I'm going to be speaking about the TV show of How to Catch a Predator. I'm pretty sure some of you have heard of or seen that show, the one with I think it's Chris Hansen of NBC Dateline, catching pedophiles trying to do what they do. And you might be wondering, pedophiles wrong, and what do I have to speak about, and what issues, can there be? So let me go through and share some of those issues and topics that's on my mind concerning that. First and foremost, let me say that pedophilia, sure, I feel it's wrong, but at the same time, that's also being ethnocentric towards my country, my nation, the values and morals and social standards that I've grown to live with, accept, or reject. And what's necessarily right in one country is not right or correct or morally ethical in a different culture or place or country. So please keep that in mind. But pretty much what I have to say about that show is that it's very one-sided, it's very biased, in terms of typically it's always some man, typically overaged, 30s, 40s, going after some 13 to 15-year-old. Apparently that's the age range that they're trying to entrap with. And I do say entrapment for a reason. But what this gets into the topic of as well is the age of consent and how stupid we want to play in the roles of parenting, or how dumb we want to dumb down our children. So it's pretty much, people, make up your damn minds here. If we're saying that the legal age of consenting sexual activity should be 16, 17, 18, yeah, that's one thing. And then the rate at which the body supposedly gets to sexual maturity is something else. So what's typically lawful, ethical, biologically ripe, don't necessarily mix together. So at the same time, we use the argument that he or she is only a child, they're 13 to 15, they don't know any better, and it's, instead of always blaming the other person, in the case of the show, it's typically always the guys. And I want some justice, at least from the guy's side of, someone prosecute those children, those 12 and 13 to 15-year-old boys and girls. If you're going to say that it's for fun or what the hell ever, that's one thing. Two, if they are the one soliciting the sexual activities or whatever, it does not make it right, but at the same time, they should be held responsible. Honestly, that is like setting some kind of bear trap or shark trap for predators in the natural environment, the world, and just waiting for one to come along and to entrap it. That's pretty much the arguments with shark of them attacking humans, natural predators, they eat anything, they're scavengers, but I digress from that point. Two, really, how stupid do you want to make your children, he or she? Are you trying to say that they do not know the difference between right and wrong? They know what the hell they're doing. Kids these days know damn well about sex by 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. You are lucky if your 13 or 14-year-old is probably still a virgin these days. So that's just one of the beef that I have with that, and it's all these soccer moms and hockey dads or whatever, just, oh, we must protect the children, we must protect. Yes, children should be protected, but at the same time, how responsible do you want to make them? How fast do you want them to grow up? Not in the sexual sense, but of responsibility, making sure they can make their own judgment, that it's sound, the difference of right and wrong, what's playful, what's soliciting, seriously. If that's the case, both parties are guilty. And just because the 13, 14-year-old boy or girl is soliciting said predator for some kind of sexual activity, yeah, it's not right, at least according to Western standards here. And, I don't condone that. I have another video on age difference of, should age matter. And, I personally don't feel that age should be a restricting factor. Granted, both parties are of legal consenting age. Legal is defined by whatever your standards for your culture or location. For me, it's typically around 18 or so. So that's my personal bias and standard on that. And it also go towards the factor of intention and intent. Where do you distinguish between intention to do something and actually following through with that? And that's a very fine line. It can be a dangerous fine line, but it's still a fine line nonetheless. And for those who get the chance or who haven't seen Minority Report with Tom Cruise by Steven Spielberg, the premise of that is on intent. A murder or a crime is going to happen, but because you know the intent of it, you stop the crime. So how many people have intent, and that's invasion of privacy and thought of going through and wanting to do something to vent, to get the anger and stress out? How many times have you just thought about something weird and crazy, but that's just your mind thinking of such things? It's how likely are you really going to follow through with that? I guess those qualities and factors is what distinguishes the psycho from a normal person, because everyone has such thoughts, and that's just how we feel and how we vent, and we can't vocally vent what we want to say because the world, society is going to label us as freaks, abnormal, we need some kind of therapy help, or just what the hell ever. But it seems like I'm done for this session, so I'm going to be continuing this in the next session. So I'll see you in part 2.